Hello YouTube and welcome back to Psychology Every Day. Don't remember on the top of my head which day it is, but it should be 146 or 147 or something like that. Sitting outside in the rain, and I wanted to make sort of a follow-up video on yesterday's video, Motivation Monday. Work hard, play hard, rest hard. And in doing so, I'm going to tell you a little bit. I do YouTube, and YouTube is the only thing that I watch. Nowadays, I have sort of freed myself of my screen addiction. I'm very grateful to the gaming industry and the movie industry for making shit games and shit movies for the last 10 years, which really helped me, you know, get rid of this addiction. Where was I going with that? Yeah, I only watch YouTube now. I don't have any streaming services. I don't sit on Facebook or Instagram. I just chat with my friends when I have spare time. And what do I watch then on YouTube? On YouTube, you can find, for example, all of the Mythbusters programs. You can find a lot of good stuff, and I like to occasionally watch political commentary, but I've gotten quite bored of politics, honestly. It used to be sort of a major interest of mine, but not so much anymore. I do watch a little bit of Destiny and Andrew Wilson. But, the things that I watch most is, of course, things that I talk about and that I'm interested in. So, psychology, but also motivational stuff, wisdom, philosophy stuff. And I really I'm very happy with myself that I can watch anyone, doesn't matter who the person is, and listen to what they say and then sort of analyze that in itself. And you notice I have a cigar here, and it's not so much left of it, and that is because I already smoked like half of it over the last week. As you know, I quit nicotine. It was now 15 days ago, but the important part for me was quitting the snus, and I have been enjoying the occasional smoke every now and then. I was completely cold turkey for a week, and then I have sort of had a smoke every day. And this has been bliss. It's almost like getting high, honestly. So, long story short, but I quit, and then on like day 11, I was like, I feel absolutely terrible. Some personal stuff happened. I don't want to bring that stuff up anymore, but I learned something about someone told me something, and I felt like garbage, honestly. And then I hit 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, I want to try and see how much of this feeling garbage is due to that person telling me this thing, or is it just, withdrawal from nicotine. And I wanted to buy a cigar to celebrate 1,000 subscribers, but I didn't have one, or they didn't have it here. So I bought a pack of cigarettes, and I grabbed a beer for the first time in a while. And I went out on the porch, and I had a beer and I had a cigarette, and I celebrated 1,000 subscribers, and I felt like a god, honestly. And I was like, damn, it was all nicotine withdrawal. That thing that person said, that was just something that I thought was affecting me. It was just withdrawal. And then I realized that I don't care about that. which that person said to me. Sorry if I'm being obtuse or whatever, but now someone is honking. That's not annoying at all. I don't know where I was going with that either, but it doesn't matter. The point is that the person that I've watched most in recent times wanted to make a tribute today, and that is a fellow YouTuber named Elisha Long. He has sort of done self-improvement and on YouTube for I don't know, it's 4, 5, 6 years, and a lot of young men will have gone through this sort of similar process of trying to find your footing in life, trying all sorts of different sort of self-improvement roads, going down different pathways, practicing discipline, all from NoFap to a lot of guys do sort of pickup artist thing, and they usually end up in sort of the same place, which is with Jesus Christ. And you learn after a few years sort of what is good and what is just dogmatic, just a waste of time, what is just self-torture. And one of the things that he said, and this was like 2 weeks ago, and I'm paraphrasing wildly here, because he didn't say exactly what I said. He said that, and I'm sorry if I'm misquoting him, but he said something on the notion that if you don't smoke cigars, you are a pussy, basically. And that, really struck home with me, because so many that are super driven and super disciplined and sort of all about this self-improvement, you end up shaming yourself and just being all locked up and never being able to enjoy anything, full of anxiety. And I don't know if you can hear that car alarm going off, but that's why I got leasing. I don't actually listen to anything. It's just to sort of not be annoyed by this sound. And how I interpreted that, rather, is that smoking a cigar is sort of the perfect test. If you won't smoke a cigar to celebrate something, then you are too wound up. Then you are unable to enjoy life. Now here's the thing, right? Smoking a pack of cigarettes every day is bad for you. Drinking whiskey every day is bad for you. I remember a guy though, who would never drink. If he ever had a drink or two, he would cry the entire next day, lamenting all of the gains that he had lost, muscle-wise. And this really struck a nerve with me, because I have been like that for the last 4 or 5 years. And it is actually one of the reasons why I think that my marriage didn't work out. Me and my wife, we were both into this sort of self-improvement thing, and we really pushed each other to become great. But one of the sort of things that we wouldn't agree on is how far we would take the sort of pleasurable things in life, and we had very different ideas of what that meant. So I've always hated staying up too late if I'm going out. You know, I can drink a lot and have fun, but after like 1 1 a.m. I usually want to go home. I'm usually quite bored, and if I stay up to 4, then the next day will be completely ruined. Whereas if I go home at 12 or 1, I'm not hungover at all. And for her, then she loved the idea of, you know, staying up until morning and, you know, watching the sun come up. And I should have just let her do that. I should have just let her do that on her own, and sometimes, someplace, done it with her. But I was too sort of rigid and strict. But I do forgive myself for it because, you know, I didn't want to do all of the enjoy your life things. So for Alicia Long, I have a cigar, I have my orange juice, and let's talk about the importance of enjoying life. I also wanted to add, I ate a bar of chocolate before, but you know, I only have 2 hands and I didn't want to bring all of the and just have it be a eating clip. Don't get stuck into maximum super hyperdrive self-improvement. And I'm not saying that you should have a balance. I'm saying that you should do both. And that is the sort of addition that I wanted to make to yesterday's video. Work hard, play hard, rest hard. Don't do any of it halfway. Do all of it hard. And while this sort of enjoy your life, have a good time, it goes under play hard, I wanted to sort of juxtapose it to those entire 3 things. Because those 3 things, I do believe they fall under the self-improvement umbrella. Even though some of the play hard, like I said, is about enjoying your life, but I felt that I had to make another video of it. And I wanted to smoke a cigar and drink orange juice. It's damn good. Damn good. Being lazy is not enjoying your life. Your rest should be, you know, sometimes rest should be lazy, but don't rest because you're lazy. Be lazy when you rest. It's different, right? Don't make your rest into a strenuous activity. That is why I talked about when people, you know, work full time and then they have 4 weeks of vacation and they ruin it by doing sort of planned, strenuous activities. That is not rest. Here's the thing, right? It's not good either to just be lazy, but do things that are super rest. Rest hard. You understand what that is? It's not scrolling on your phone sitting in your couch. Forest walks, that's rest hard. Meditation, that's rest hard. And then you have sort of on the dark side, the things that are opposite of self-improvement. What our generation didn't understand about Fight Club is that it's a bad thing. It is the toxic dark side of so you have self-improvement and then you have self-destruction, but you also have self-improvement and a different opposite of that is sort of just be. You just enjoy life. Things can have two different opposites. I don't know where that's from, but apparently that's a super clever thing. So what do you mean? What do I mean by that? The first thing that comes to mind is when talking about positive masculinity and toxic masculinity, positive femininity and toxic femininity. The opposite of positive masculinity, one opposite is positive femininity. But a different opposite is toxic masculinity. And a double opposite is toxic femininity. You understand? So now that everything doesn't have just one opposite. So let's use those terms and that way of thinking with self-improvement. You have positive self-improvement, you know, working out is a super good positive self-improvement. And then you have negative self-improvement, which is imposing insane, overly discipline on yourself due to shame or childhood trauma. So, you know, flagellating yourself, for instance. And then you have the opposite of that, which is the negative version of self-destruction. And that's what they're doing in Fight Club. You know, just destroying your life, your job, your relationships, your body. But here's the thing, you have a positive version of that. That is good. And it's still an opposite of self-improvement. And that is, like Alicia says, eat the honey. It's good for you. Dance. Laugh. Celebrate with a cigar. Because even though smoking a pack of cigarettes every day is bad, one cigar or one cigarette does not matter at all. You have people smoking a pack of cigarettes for 40 years and it barely affects them. Sure, they're not super healthy. They look a bit grey, but that is a pack of cigarettes, 20 cigarettes a day for a year is 1,040 cigarettes. That's a year. So 40 years is 40,000 cigarettes. And they're sort of okay. I think that one every now and then is fine. Oh shit. And if you can't bring yourself to do that, then you know by this test that there's something wrong with you. You are too strung up. You are unable to chill. and this will severely harm your ability to play hard and to rest hard. And if you can't play hard and if you can't rest hard, you will be unable to work hard. I see this all the time. You have this sort of high achieving people, but then they stress themselves up so much. And, you know, then they can't rest because they feel guilty, they feel anxious. So they just scroll on their phone to hide their own anxiety, or they turn to alcohol or medication. I talked about this in various other screen addiction videos, so we're not going to go over it again. And what I really liked about the Alicia thing is, or Alicia, I don't know how to pronounce his name. The cigar is the perfect test. It's perfect. Because it's just above that threshold. It's good. It's not, there are things that are better. It's unnecessary. It's expensive. And it's unhealthy. But it's not very unhealthy. It's not very expensive. Not in a way that matters at all. Sure, some people might not have $5, then it's too expensive. And yeah, if you have lung problems, then yeah, it's too unhealthy. But if you are working hard, if you work out, if you do everything that you are supposed to do in a positive manner, then enjoying life in a moderate to high amount will not harm you at all. Because guess what? Someone that eats well and works out and smokes, they are far more healthy than someone that does none of those things. And it's very interesting to me that some people are able to use their sort of cognitive function. Nietzsche talked about this as the Übermensch, to decide your rules for yourself, but also to break them however and whenever you want. And I do believe that is the core of free will. Not going to go into a super long tangent because that's a pretty difficult topic, but free will is being able to do things that don't serve you or anyone else that you don't want to do. Because if you do something that you enjoy doing, you cannot call that free will, because you're doing it because you enjoy it. If you're doing something because it serves you or someone else, you cannot call that free will. You're doing it because if you do something despite, that is free will. I'm going to gather my thoughts on that because that's a damn good point, and I want to make it into a short. Let's do the short then. Free will is about doing things despite. If you do something because you like it or because it serves a purpose, then you cannot extract free will from that. Free will to me is doing something that you don't want to do that doesn't serve you, or being able to do that. Free will to me is conquering everything that is rational and logical and doing whatever you want. So let's say you are a heroin addict and you stop taking heroin, And then you are locked into a cage with a syringe of heroin. And they say that if you take it as you want to, uh, you will be set free. And then you say no, and you don't do it. That's free will. Or going down in your basement and pinching yourself really hard without telling anyone. Don't do that, by the way. No self harm, okay? But being able to, that's free will. And you should have free will. And you should be able to enjoy yourself. But it comes off the base of working hard. And that is why they say work gives freedom. Work does give freedom. Effort gives freedom. And yeah, it's a great day. Great day. Can I try something with you for these last 30 seconds? If you watch so far, look into my eyes and tell me what you see. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow.